the LG U20 user here, and today I have some breaking news for y'all. So the DOJ has approved the T-Mobile Sprint merger, so the T-Mobile and Sprint will not be merging, but there's still 1 year in, so that's pretty nice. So the merger has been approved by the DOJ, but there's still one hurdle to get through for this thing to close. So yeah, so let's check this out. So now we finally got the merger to get approved here. So yeah. So it says here the $26.5 billion T-Mobile Sprint merger is now so close to becoming a reality that investors are throwing money at the shares of both companies. According to CNBC, the U.S. Department of Justice has given its approval to the deal, something that it failed to do when AT&T agreed to pay $39 million for T-Mobile back in 2011. Because if you guys remember, AT&T and T-Mobile were trying to merge back then, but that deal failed. So here we are 8 years later, and now T-Mobile Sprint will be merging. The regulatory agency also told inquiring T-Mobile Sprint executives 3 years later that it would not give its blessing to a combination of the two laws. It said it wouldn't give its blessing to a combination of the two laws providers. But here we are in 2019, and it just happened. So it says, but this time around, the DOJ made it clear that both carriers would get approval if they agreed to support the launch of a new wireless operator. So in order for this deal to get approved, there had to be a new carrier, which that is going to be one, because now you will have Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Dish now. So says this would keep the competitive landscape somewhat unchanged once Sprint is snapped up by T-Mobile. So Dish Network will buy some of the pair's spectrum and will have access to a minimum of 20,000 cell sites and to retail stores. Sprint will divest itself of prepaid carrier Boost Mobile along with prepaid carrier Virgin Mobile. They're both going to Dish, so Dish Network is taking over Boost and Virgin. I think, in my opinion, Virgin Mobile should just die, because who the fuck is getting Virgin Mobile service? A lot of people are getting Boost Mobile service, but not Virgin Mobile service. I think Virgin Mobile should just die. That's just my opinion. And Sprint's on prepaid business, so I'm guessing that's also going to be this as well, which is Sprint prepaid or whatever. The combined team of Sprint will retain ownership of fast-growing prepaid operator Metro by T-Mobile. Of course, that's not going anywhere. Metro by T-Mobile is safe. That's not going anywhere. That's owned by T-Mobile. That's not going anywhere. So if you own Metro by T-Mobile, you're fine. You don't have to worry about nothing. So yeah. So it says the merger still can't close until a decision is made on a lawsuit filed by 13 state attorney generals. So there's a lawsuit still, because there's some states that still want to there's some states that want to block the merger and shit like that. So they filed a lawsuit against the merger. So we'll have to wait and see what the decision is like. So we'll stay tuned for that one. The merger has been approved, but this is the hurdle that I'm talking about right here. So we'll just have to wait and see. It says T-Mobile and Dish were the two big spenders in the 2017 FCC auction of delivering 600 MHz spectrum. Dish must use these airwaves by next March or risk losing them. The satellite content provider will sign a 7-year MVNO agreement that will allow it to sell wireless service under the Dish name while actually using T-Mobile's network. During this period of time, Dish will start building its own nationwide 5G network. Once the deal closes, Dish chairman Charlie Ergen will have finally realized his dreams of owning a wireless operator. He tried to buy Sprint in 2013 but lost out to Japan's SoftBank. So this is going to be great news for one chairman of Dish Network, Charlie Ergen. He is going to be happy about this. Because he had dreams about owning a wireless carrier, and now he's going to be able to own one. So that's good news for him. They also said that he tried to buy Sprint back in 2013, but that deal failed to Japan's SoftBank, so SoftBank owned Sprint from that time until now. So now, yeah. So I'm glad that they I'm glad that the Dish chairman will get what he wants. A wireless provider, because that's what he wanted, so he's getting that, so that's a win for him. Says, while this is surely good news for T-Mobile CEO John Legere and Sprint chairman Marcelo Killiu, the merger cannot close until a suit involving 13 state attorney general and attorney general of Washington D.C. is decided. The plaintiffs seek to block the merger, and that the trials now might not start until December 9th, 2019. So that's about 4 months from now. So it can be a while for this thing closes officially. But the merger has been approved, but there's still one hurdle: this lawsuit claim. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But there is nothing that would prevent T-Mobile Sprint from making. It says, but there is nothing that would prevent T-Mobile Sprint from working out a settlement with the plaintiffs, especially now that both the FCC and the Justice Department are backing the transaction. Here's a quote from Sprint CEO, and he says, quote, "You can see by the level of concessions that we have made in terms of giving this access to the new network, disposing our 800 MHz spectrum, giving them access to some of our stores, some of our towers, buying our incredible brands, boosting rating. I think this will be set to be a viable competitor." Then he goes on to say, "If I'm a state attorney, I'm going to look at how this is good for my state. I'm really hoping this doesn't turn into a political fight. I have a lot of faith in the state attorney general that once they understand the consent decree, the level of competition that it's going to exist in the market, that hopefully they will sit down and be able to reach an agreement with us in court." So that's what a Sprint CEO said. So yeah. It says back in 2011 when it says back in 2011 when AT&T failed in its effort to buy T-Mobile, the latter was considered an afterthought in the industry. AT&T's breakup package to T-Mobile included $3 billion in the 128 AWS markets, and many considered it to mark the beginning of an amazing turnaround. In September 2012, John Legere was named CEO, and under his unconventional leadership, T-Mobile has become the fastest growing and most innovative of the major U.S. wireless providers. Just yesterday, the company announced that it recorded an industry best 710,000 net postpaid phone additions during the second quarter of this year. So that is a win. So T-Mobile broke records and stuff like that yesterday, so that is a win. T-Mobile has been doing a lot of good stuff since John Legere took over. They have the uncatered thing, they got rid of contracts, they have the binge on thing, so that's really cool. So T-Mobile has been killing it. T-Mobile has been killing it for the last few years now. So they've been killing it. So that's really awesome. Says T-Mobile shares are up by 4.4%, or 43.52 or $43.52 to $83.43 on today's news. Sprint stock is also up sharply with their gain of 51 cents to $7.96. Each share Sprint will be exchanged for 0.1256 of a T-Mobile share when the merger closes. So there you have it. The merger has been approved by the DOJ. It's officially happening, but there's still one hurdle, so to keep that in mind. The merger is going to happen, but we have to wait and see what's going to happen with the lawsuit from several states, including DC. So we'll have to wait and see about what happens with that. They're supposed to go on trial for that December 9th, which is about 4 months away. So that's a bit of a time to wait, but the merger has been approved, so at least that's good news for that. But there's still one hurdle, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. So T-Mobile and Sprint are officially merging. Dish is picking up Boost and Virgin Mobile. In my opinion, I think Virgin Mobile should just die, because who the fuck gets Virgin Mobile service anyway? I think it's been prepaid or whatever it's called now. Should also die, because who the fuck is getting prepaid service with Sprint? If they're getting prepaid service with Sprint, they are going to Boost Mobile to get their prepaid services with Sprint. So I don't know why Sprint still has its own prepaid brand. I don't know why, but it is what it is. So Dish is picking up Boost and Virgin. So yeah. So there you guys have it. So what do you guys think about this approval? Do you guys like the approval? Do you guys don't like it? What are your guys' opinions on this approval of the merger? What do you guys think will happen and stuff like that? T-Mobile and Sprint are finally going to be one. This will be a new carrier, so there'll be 4 new carriers. There'll be T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, and Dish Network. So this will be pretty interesting to see how this plays out. So at least we got the good news is that the merger has been approved by the DOJ. So T-Mobile and Sprint will be one. So so if you guys enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, guys. It helps me out a lot. Please rate, comment, subscribe. Thank you very much for watching my video, and I catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.